Alright, welcome back after the break. I believe that you are moving on well, and this is Boresha Kulima. And back to where we left, we were looking more onto the key players in marketing, and now I had introduced the channels of marketing. Madam Beth, you tell us more on the same, even as we check the comments that are coming in from our viewers. Yes.
Thank you. I think when we talk of channels of marketing,
Yes.
a channel, if I may start by defining what a channel is. Channels of marketing is the route or the path that is followed by a commodity from the point of production to the point of consumption. That route it follows. All channels of consumption, they begin with the producer and they end with the consumer. These channels depend on what kind of product are we talking about here. If, for example, we are talking of a commodity like fruits and vegetables, yeah, those are perishable products. Definitely they move just from the farmer to the consumer. They don't need to go through so many paths, through so many routes, because in their nature they are perishable, and the consumer would want them when they are fresh. Yeah. So that route that is followed by a product from the point of production to the point of consumption is what we call a channel of distribution, or channel of marketing is the same. So different products follow different routes, different channels. There's a channel whereby, as I mentioned, something like fruit and vegetables, you just move as a consumer, you take from the producer. So we call that one first channel.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there are those products that move from the producer. Then they go to the wholesaler, they are stored for a bit. Then they move to the retailer, and then finally to the consumer. That's also another channel. There are products that require to move from the producer. They go to the cooperative, they go to the retailer, then they go to the consumer. So that is also a different route. There are products that require even brokers, these middlemen. Yeah. So a channel is that route that is followed by product from the point of production to the point of consumption. And as I said, different products follow different routes or channels. Yeah.
Oh, now that you mentioned about the middlemen, the brokers.
Yes.
You see, I visited a certain farmer in some place in this country, and the farmers were complaining a lot concerning the middlemen. These people do buy the items, the commodities from the farmers. Let's take an example of a tomato or onions. Once they buy at a very low price, but once they take the commodity to the market, they usually get a lot of profit. And that one is bringing us now into the next thing that you are looking into. That is the challenges faced in marketing of this product. So what are the challenges that our farmers go through? And even before we look more into that, we had asked you a question: how do you think COVID-19 has affected marketing of this produce? And you can send your comment via the number appearing on your screen, or you can visit our social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, Destiny TV, and you find us there. So, Walin, you tell us more on the same, and then we get back to the feedback.
Thank you. The challenges that farmers face ordinarily, even without the COVID-19, have been many. Just to mention a few challenges, that issue of middlemen has been a challenge.
Yes.
But then we cannot do away with the middlemen. They have their good side, and they also have their bad side. Looking at their good side, there is that farmer who is somewhere in the interior who does not have any market information. They entirely rely on middlemen to tell them the matters of demand, the availability of produce. Yeah, I'm a farmer. I'm just growing. I'm a grower, but I don't know. I have no market information. where this commodity is, where demand is for that commodity. That way, middlemen become very important people to provide information. So it's not always the case that middlemen are there to maybe to lower the profits. Yeah. So middlemen play a role of linking the producer and the consumer. They link, they provide that link. And what I mean by linking here is the physical provision of the commodity. That is one way. And another way of linking is this provision of market information. You are a grower, you don't know where the demand is for your product, but the middleman knows. So as much as they make profit and they take advantage of the farmers, at the same time we cannot do away with them. Yeah?
They are important.
They are important. They have a role to play in the whole affair of marketing. So farmers, again, they face very many challenges. They face the challenges of the nature of their product. Most of the products are perishable in nature. So you are growing your fruits and vegetables somewhere in the interior, and because of perishability, most of them they rot before they reach the consumer. They deteriorate, so that by the time they get to the consumer, the quality is really spoiled. So they have that challenge because of the nature of their product. The only way to deal with that challenge is, for example, what we were saying, value addition. If they can process, package, yeah, so that is one of the challenges. Another challenge is an issue of transportation of their produce. Transporting this produce requires good condition of roads, so that the produce will reach the market in good time, in good quality, and all that. So we have that challenge of transportation because of the nature of our roads. In most of the cases, our roads are in bad state, so we have that challenge of transportation. Our farmers also have a challenge of storage. Most of them, they lack storage facilities. And this is really a challenge which can really bring somebody down. You have now grown, you have harvested your produce, but you have nowhere to store the same. Yeah? So all these are challenges that our farmers face. The biggest challenge of them all is about price. Yeah? Pricing of their commodities. By the nature of agricultural commodities, there is that price fluctuation, changes of prices. At the point of harvesting, the prices are too low. Yeah? So you cannot even be able to forecast and say, now I'm growing my tomatoes and I'll be selling this much per kg. Because of these changes in demand and all that kind of a thing. So we have that issue of price fluctuation which is a very big challenge to the farmers. Another challenge is now accessibility of the market, like right now, where we know that the open air markets have been closed. Closing of the market, and me as a farmer are still growing and harvesting my produce. So you realize that most of the produce are just rotting in the farms. We cannot access the market. You cannot go sell. Yeah, there's restrictions in terms of movement of people from one place to another, and all those are challenges which our farmers are really facing. Yeah, just to mention a few.
Okay, and there's something that just I saw it somewhere. The farmers, I visited some farmers, and they were suffering from the loss in the farm. Maybe you can also help us to understand the loss that happens in the farm, and even before you come to know on how we can mitigate those challenges, like I have a commodity, I planted tomatoes, but there is nothing that I have harvested. You can also help us to understand that challenge, and then before you come to know on how we can mitigate those challenges. Yes. Yes, like you talk, I saw some farmers whereby they were telling me they have some insurance companies covering their crops and all that. Maybe you can help us to understand that challenge.
Yeah, there is a challenge in marketing or in agriculture known as crop failure.
Yes.
Yeah, a farmer can have total crop failure, and crop failure can be out of For example, we have had the infestation of locusts.
Yes.
Yeah, whereby you just face a total crop failure, that you lose everything, you don't harvest anything. It could be due to pests like the locusts we have had. It could be even due to these weather changes, yeah, unpredictable weather changes. The farmers here is whereby farmers are now encouraged to take the crop insurance cover to mitigate that kind of a loss. Because in agriculture, actually so many things are not predictable.
Sure.
So to be on the safe side, it is encouraged that the farmers can really liaise and link with the insurance policies, and you protect yourself. Again, it's the same. Yeah.
All right, and now back to the question that we had asked you. How do you think COVID-19 has affected marketing of agricultural commodities? To you as a farmer and to you as a consumer, how do you think that this COVID-19 has affected you? And there's a friend here, she is Metrin. Metrin says that no more business going on in the marketplaces because all places have been closed down to avoid spread of COVID-19. So accessing the marketplace is a big problem now. Products from farms are now rotting due to lack of market. How true is that?
Accessing the marketplace has really been a challenge. Yes. Unfortunately, we are not seeing this one coming. But here, here is where we encourage the farmers to embrace technology, modern technology.
Yes.
Yeah, there are certain more way of coming up with mobile apps, whereby you do online marketing. Yeah, that way, as consumers, we can be able to know that farmer A is having this kind of produce. So it is the only way here is now to embrace modern technology, use of mobile apps, yeah, that can be able to link the buyer and the seller. Otherwise, now we are having that challenge of having the markets closed, but the products are there in the farms. So the way to mitigate that one is possibly embracing that modern technology, use of mobile apps that can be used to link, and they are there to link the farmer and the consumers.
That's a very good approach. And another one, Chief Wisdomist, says that as a farmer, have largely affected by this menace COVID-19. For instance, I'm a macadamia farmer, where prices dropped from 200 Kenya shillings per kilogram to Kenya shillings 50, which is the total loss. Have the prices gone down?
Yes, the prices have really gone up. I think the prices have gone very low. Yeah, and this is a challenge which we had not seen coming. Unfortunately, well, as we can see, much of the government effort is now towards how we can deal with the situation of the pandemic. So as farmers, yeah, I think the only way now is just to wait and hope that the pandemic will subside and then things will normalize. Otherwise, currently we just have to cope with the situation as it is.
There's another comment here. The problem is now that the government is on COVID-19. Now, like switching from to help farmers is a problem because they also value our lives. Now, it might also take time for some illiterate to understand other things as this. Okay, I understand the topic she's bringing in. It's about the technology. Trying to bring us to understand that the government is laying more emphasis on COVID-19, on how to curb that. But now, the government shifting to helping farmers in technologies like creating those applications, doing some online shopping and all that is a big challenge. How true is that?
Yeah, that is quite true. Yes. And as I said, it is something we need to just learn to live with, because it's our hope. Our hope is that this pandemic is at some point is going to come to an end. And therefore, as much as we want the government maybe to assist, we can understand the nature of this disease.
Sure.
And there is every need that the government really chips in and tries to curb the disease, the spreading of the disease. At the same time, as farmers, as researchers, we can research more and more to see how we are going to survive. Because at the end of the day, what is most important is to survive. Yeah. So research should be done, research and development to come up with ways of how do we get these products, yeah, which is rotting in the farm, which is the best way now to link the sellers and the buyers using technologies. Yeah. Another way is still on value addition. Yeah. Value addition is whereby how do you preserve the quality of that product. Yeah. So there is also need to embrace value addition, processing, packaging, and all that, so as to curb that problem.
Well, government really have to do something.
Government has to do
It has
something.
to do something to intervene for our farmers, even the consumers, because this is an issue that is affecting all of us as a farmer, as a consumer. Because if I don't act there is this most consumed fruit today, avocado. Most of the students, most of the people out there, they love using avocado in their meals. And you find out that when you're cooking ugali or rice and there's no avocado in the near market, you find that you are really discouraged from consuming that food. And the government has to do something on that. Then I'll read this. Wakulima wengine hawatataka stress zingine za kujifunza vitu zingine. Because wao ni kupanda, kuvuna na kuuza. So she's trying to bring an issue here that some of our farmers they lay much emphasis on production and harvesting. Now trying to bring some other technologies like mobile application. The other day we were with Dr. Chege and he was helping us to understand how we can embrace big data in farming, and now trying to introduce that to our farmers. Some of our farmers think it's no use, it's not a thing that you can adapt. So that is what she is trying to mean here. How true is that when we pass knowledge to our farmers, they are not ready to cooperate to get that knowledge?
Well, it is true what she's saying, but what I would say is that this is the high time that farmers are encouraged to undergo training. It is necessary that they undergo training. Once they undergo training, in the end, they will embrace this modern technology, because there is no need of you just aiming at producing and selling. And then all of a sudden a disease comes in whereby now you cannot access the market. And therefore, what I would say is that it's the high time the farmers embrace what? Training. And the government comes up with a policy of training the farmers. After all, we really need food security. Without food security, we will not be talking of surviving even that disease, because we have even seen the government saying that those who are immune, those who are surviving are those who are strong. Therefore, we really need that food. We need good diet and all that. Therefore, I would encourage that farmers, the government really focuses on training of farmers so that they embrace all these technologies when they undergo training. Yeah, and they change their attitude. Yes.
Thank you for that. And some producers of maybe maize cannot sell maize to these middlemen. Now, there's this issue of middlemen has been referred now. And now, because they are waiting for prices to be higher, ndio wauze, like now. For middlemen, yaweza kuwa tricky kidogo. Okay, the issue here is the middleman comes to your farm. You are maybe rearing eggs, or maybe the chicken or pig or whatever the commodity. Then when the middleman comes, they buy that commodity, they they are very knowledgeable. They know the post-harvest handling practices. They preserve that commodity. If it's a maize or maybe beans, they preserve that. And once the market opens up and the prices are good, they go and sell that commodity. So she's saying that the issue of a middleman is a bit tricky, kidogo. That is what she has written.
Yeah. Okay, to respond to that issue of middlemen, as a farmer, you have a choice to either sell your produce to a middleman or to follow another channel. We have government serious board and produce, whereby we have the government policy where farmers sell their produce directly to the marketing boards. And therefore, if you are not in a hurry, because people who become a victim of the middlemen are those in a hurry to get this quick money. Yeah. So it is good that they follow that they can sell their produce to the Cereals and Produce Board. I think that way then you'll not have a headache of the middlemen, maybe being a victim of the middlemen.
BS, the name is BS. On my view, agriculture has been highly touched by COVID-19 in terms of both production and marketing. Like what is happening in my location, there is no market for product, and if there is, they are bought at a very low prices. You had mentioned that. For a farmer to get full compensation of his product, it is now a challenge as a result of the strategy given out by the government, where you receive a small proportion of payment from middlemen and the rest is sent after delivery of your product to the buyer. This means that if you don't trust the broker, you will not sell your product. Similarly, the income you get reduces the capacity of input to be bought for the next season production. So how true is that?
Yeah, well, that is true. But again, remember we are saying this pandemic has just come without us knowing and without us seeing. So again, it is really a challenge we are facing, all of us as farmers, as consumers. Yeah. And again, remember we are saying here, it is a high time that the sellers, the producers and the farmers, yeah, what we are saying is if they find a way of connecting to the seller without necessarily relying on the open air market, the better for them. And we are saying the ways of doing the same is, for example, following and using those mobile apps, also embracing door-to-door, yeah, door-to-door delivery, yeah. Now that people are locked in, we are staying at home, yeah. Why don't you visit people just at their homesteads and selling to them? I think it can help a lot for the time being. Yeah.
The Kibe Jose says that increase in shipping cost of agricultural product because the cargo flight can't carry passengers. So he is trying to bring an issue of increase in shipment cost, and he is concentrating more on the flights, and even in transportation of these commodities from the farm to the consumers, now, okay, I don't want to say to the market now because there's no market. I don't know how I will phrase that, but transportation of that commodity from the farmer to where it is needed, it has increased. How true is that?
Yeah, transportation as he's talking about shipment. I think is it now an issue of maybe where we are importing products?
Yeah, the shipment, yes, the flight. He's talking about the flight.
First of all, we need to realize that even the countries where we depend so much to ship in, to bring in, to import products, we need to realize that those countries may not be willing because they are also facing the same. Yeah. So here we really encourage local consumption and local production. Yeah. So it is true that the transport cost has really